Hello. For many of you, you might find yourself these days working from home. And there's a lot of positives that come from working from home, but there's definitely some potential negatives, especially when it comes to postural stress. One of the biggest things we cannot focus on enough right now is that our health and our lives and everything is so amazing, and we have such an opportunity to spend more time focusing on the positive things that we can do instead of allowing them to be negatives. And one of that postural stress could be destroying. Maybe you might have found yourself as one of those people who's working from home with a laptop like this. Maybe you find yourself as the day goes on, you're even further and further into it. All of a sudden, you feel like the hunchback of Notre Dame, right? And then, but you're like, well, I got a laptop, that's all I can do. Well, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of modifications you can do, because the cervical curve is the connection between the brain and the body. And if you're crushing that arc of life with the forward head posture, and now you're looking down at your phone and you're spending more time in these things, these are things that are very, very important. And I want you to take this information and apply it to you from working from home. But now a lot of kids are at home doing homework, and they're spending a lot of time on tablets, and they're spending a lot of time on Chromebooks and things like this. And it's our job as parents, since they're going to be spending more time here, to do these applications for our children to make sure that they're not starting out with behind the curve, right? They're not destroying the arc of life, the cervical curve, right out of the get-go from elementary school all the way throughout their adult life, thus destroying their health. And so this applies for you at home from work, but really take this and these same applications for your kids. So we'd start out looking for the thighs at 90. I've got an adjustable stool, getting in close enough to where I can reach in. And this would be what a lot of people would consider about the best they could do with their laptop. Maybe you could tilt the screen back and use that more, but you're still going to find yourself really hunkering into that. So one of the first things would be is trying to elevate this up. Now you can use this as its own thing and then have a separate monitor that maybe has an extension that gets you up, because you want ideally this to be where the third of the monitor, the middle third, is at your eye height. And so if you're 5'3" or or 5'5" or something, and you're working from home, might be just as simple as a tissue box. Go on to maybe Blockbuster or Amazon, but they're really far behind on non-essential items. So finding a separate keyboard, finding a separate mouse, ordering these, plugging them in so that they work with your laptop, and then now you're typing from here. So literally 15, 20 bucks. You can get these sent to you, and you can start to make this modification right here. But again, as you can see, that's not high enough for me. So maybe you still have the boxes that your cervical traction unit came in. For me, it's going to take a couple of these, and stacking those up like so gets me a lot closer. Maybe you've got an Amazon box, I don't know, something sitting around. Tape it up, get it solid, and then get your laptop up here, sitting here again. Now that's sitting. But a lot of you, hopefully, were blessed with a sit-stand workstation, and now you're going, I don't have that at home. Well, Costco, a couple $100, that was less than $300. I got this one with a glass top and HDMI ports and everything. And literally, what I can do is, well, if it quits blinking, is it going to work? All right. Yeah, well, so as we're raising this thing up, I can come off the stool. One of the things that you can be doing that we're going to separate into here is that we want to be, a lot of you were able to do this oscillating between. So you're doing some sitting, some standing. What we want to do is get ourselves a setup. Maybe it's the kitchen counter, maybe it's the bar facing into the kitchen, somewhere in the house that you can still set your laptop, get yourself relatively here, and get yourself squared away where you spend some time standing. The research, the reason they're doing all these things is, that when we sit, there's a lot more compressive forces on the spine, a lot more changes in the ligament structures that hold us together. And we really want to limit that extra stress because, again, we're crushing the most, precious part of our body, that spinal cord on the inside, the connection from the brain to the body. And so maybe you can set this kind of stuff up for your kids. Maybe they're at the height where the kitchen table, if they're standing and they're working on their Chromebook, maybe that's good for them. What we can do, and just really focusing on that this may be more change in this future time where more people are going to be working from home, maybe whether it's an opportunity or a necessity. And so micro breaks, get yourself up. If you're not, set a timer, have a clock nearby, get something that allows you, an app on your phone that gives you an alarm that says every 30 minutes, once an hour, whatever, I'm going to take a break, stand up, do some open heart stretches where we're really trying to look up, stretching. Stretch your hamstrings, also the psoas muscle by stepping back and really stretching in here, because that's, again, something that gets really tight when we're sitting all the time. The hamstrings shorten, the psoas muscle shortens. So doing these stretches is really key to unlocking extra pressure on the lower back. Teach your kids this. Also, when we think about the other things that you can do to combat this extra physical stress, repetitive stress injuries, is how about doing some neck traction on a micro break, then wearing your head weights, remembering that to do that again right before bed, and then go to sleep on your rolls so that you're reforming that cervical curve at night. If you're not already a patient in the office, then your first step would be becoming a patient, so you have all these necessities at home and you know how to implement these things for you. But yet, for those of you who do have these things, use these tools. Make these changes. These modifications are for you. They're for your health. You're empowering yourself not only with the less stress, but you're empowering yourself with the ability to change. You're changing your habits to help you get by during maybe a short time or a long time. And that's going to help you become even more pliable, more flexible. It's going to help you throughout your life, practicing making other changes in your life. And for now, this is Ergonomics, both at home. Remember, it's not just for the worker, it's for your children too. And maybe you're the professional student, okay? We'll be back here. Thanks for tuning in. And remember that taking care of you is the top priority. See you back soon.